Officially sworn in today as San Angelo's new police chief. There is no more camping at Mineral Wells Crossing, and the SAPD needs help locating an arson suspect. I'm James Bouligny, and this is Live. We'll get to the news in a minute, but first, here's a word from Mammoth Roofing.
Hi, I'm Trisha Lira, third-generation roofer and owner of Mammoth Roofing Services. I love what I do, and what I do is build the world's best roofs. Need financing? I got you. 12 months, zero interest. I'm Trisha Lira. I want to be your roofer for life.
Starting the news, San Angelo swore in Travis Griffith as the new police chief. This morning at the Nice Convention Center, the San Angelo City Council approved a resolution canvassing returns of the June 15th runoff election. Griffith received around 500 more votes over his opponent, Mike Hernandez. Griffith said, "My heart is full and I cannot tell you how incredibly honored I am to serve as your police chief. This is one of the best communities I've ever seen. I believe this community and I believe in what this community can do." There's no more camping at Mineral Wells Crossing out near Cristobal. Tom Green County has several parks outside the San Angelo city limits that suffer from some insufficient annual budget maintenance and overuse. Sean Nanny, the commissioner for Precinct 4, has imposed restrictions on Mineral Well Crossing, which focuses on safety and preservation. Residents living on the west side of the low water crossing depend on that road to access their land and homes. Well, yesterday, the Commissioner Court approved an amendment that prohibits overnight camping at the crossing. Violators can be charged with a Class C misdemeanor and face a fine up to $500. Have you downloaded the all-new San Angelo Live mobile app yet? Over 11,000 of you have, and it's the best app in the business. Download it on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. It's free, and it keeps you up to date on all the news from San Angelo and the surrounding area. The San Angelo Police Department needs assistance in locating a man wanted on a warrant for second-degree arson. 48-year-old Conrad Del Rio is described as 5'4", weighing 154 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Never try to apprehend a suspect by yourself, and contact the San Angelo Police Department if you have any information regarding Del Rio's whereabouts at 325-657-4315. Into weather right now, there's a heat advisory until 7 p.m. on Thursday. It's 102 right now with a high of 104 and a low tonight of 78. Tomorrow the high is 105 with a low of 77. On Friday the high reaches 103 with the low of 77. On Saturday the high gets right back up there again at 102, has a low of 76, and on Sunday the high is 102. So remember, if you're going to be outside, stay hydrated. When we come back, Ryan Check will have sports, and then I went out to the Live Oak Clinic down the street and spoke with Mason Collins. But first, a word from the Bass Bunch.
Oh, hail. Yep, we got hail. But some dings and dents mean big discounts for you. We have over 700 cars and trucks at great prices, and they won't last long. Come by Jim Bass Cars and Trucks at the corner of Houston Hart at Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas High School football started the rollout of all the preseason rankings for the upcoming 2024 season this week. The Concho Valley once again has a familiar face in the top 10. The Wall Hawks under new head coach Craig Slaughter came in at number 9 for the start of 2024 and will likely move up from there. The Hawks finished with an 11-3 overall record last season after falling to Canadian 31-12 in the regional final, 2 games short of a title. The Hawks will look a little bit different on offense headed into next season, so get excited for what Slaughter and company have in store. The Hawks kick off 2024 on the road against their longtime rival, the Mason Punchers, at the Puncher Dome in Mason on August 30th. And for more sports around the Concho Valley and beyond, be sure to check in every day at sanangelolive.com/news/sports. And now, James Bouligny will be right back for the Search for Silver Clue.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
The San Angelo Live Search for Silver scavenger hunt is back, and we have the first riddle in the hunt. Let's take a look. The search has begun, and I've dropped the first clue. One of the biggest roads in town is sure to get you pretty close to the silver coins. That much is true. All this week's riddles are brought to you by Texas Angels Boutique, located at 221 South Chadwick Street in downtown San Angelo. They're having a big 4th of July sale, so head on over there to Texas Angels and do some shopping, and you can pick up an exclusive riddle only at the boutique. Remember, keep an eye on San Angelo Live and watch the Live Daily News show every day for hints on where to find the silver coin container.
This girl went to town at night. She got blinded by the fancy lights. Realize you cannot wait to live till tomorrow. So the girl stayed at the yard. She found all the things you have to know about life.
Okay, everybody, this is James Bouligny here with Mason Collins here at Live Oak Testosterone and Weight Loss. Mr. Collins, Mr. Collins, sorry.
Mason works.
Mason, how you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for coming. It's nice to have you here.
All right, and let's just talk about, obviously you're a nurse practitioner. Let's just talk about where you went to school, what brought you here.
Yeah, I grew up in Paint Rock, so basically local, and I did all my schooling at ASU, both my bachelor's and master's. Just kind of stayed local. I worked at Shannon while I worked as a nurse in the ER and ICU while I was getting my master's, and then once I got my master's, I did orthopedic surgery for a little bit, and then I was in the ER for another 4 years, and I was at the urgent care for 2 years after that, and then I was while I was working on this, and so I've been doing this full time since February of this year, and just kind of decided wanted to focus more on the wellness instead of kind of the reactive treatment, be proactive with people's health care.
You try to prevent people from going to the ER.
Right, yeah.
All right, and y'all do testosterone and weight loss. It's on y'all side. It's a big deal. Let's talk about the weight loss real quick. That seems to be sweeping the nation right now.
Sure.
Kind of go into that a little bit about just
and
what you might prescribe or what you might tell someone to do.
Yeah, and so first and foremost, we try and work on lifestyle changes. The medication is a tool in a weight loss program. Yeah, we'll bring in medication. Of course, like the semaglutide and tirzepatide are very popular, and they are very good at what they do. They have outdone the old ones like phentermine, topiramate, now Trexone, Wellbutrin, all that stuff. They're still out there. I still use them at times, and I'll even use them as adjuncts to these newer ones. But they have obviously been very effective, and that's why they've been so popular. But they are just a tool still, and so I want to really focus on trying to get people, aware of their intake. I want to make sure they're getting enough protein to maintain their muscle mass. We talk about resistance training to make sure that, they maintain their muscle mass. Anytime you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose both muscle and fat, and muscle mass is very precious, and we want to maintain as much as we can with that. So make sure they're getting optimal protein intake, and doing resistance training is going to help that as well. And then we bring the medication on board because they make it to where you're not as hungry, you get full faster, they make your insulin more sensitive, they kind of help with cravings, so you're able to be in control of the lifestyle changes that we're trying to work on, and it just makes it easier in the weight loss process for it.
All right, and let's talk about testosterone real quick. That's the first thing after Live Oak on your science, testosterone. Yeah. Go through that. I know we kind of went through that a little bit before, but go through, what you might do if someone comes in, hey, they're testosterone deficient.
Sure. Yeah. So, the thing with testosterone, on social media, they do act like it's a cure-all of everything, and so they'll list all these symptoms, which could be testosterone deficiency, but it could also be a myriad of different things. So if you come in, I typically get a comprehensive lab panel to just make sure everything else is okay, that we don't miss anything. thyroid, vitamin D, blood counts, kidneys, liver, electrolytes. Make sure you're not diabetic, anything like that. If you don't have a normal primary care provider, I do not provide primary care services, but I do try and get a comprehensive lab evaluation prior to starting testosterone, just to make sure there's nothing else that needs to be addressed. Then you come in, you're symptomatic. Potential symptoms could be chronic fatigue, low motivation, poor libido, difficulty getting an erection, maintaining an erection, difficulty losing fat, putting on muscle, especially if you're, if you're doing the work, putting in, working out in a calorie deficit and it's still just not making the progress that you're hoping for. We'll check your testosterone level, and if you meet criteria for replacement, we'll talk about replacement at that time. And again, the symptoms I discussed could all be improved upon testosterone, so that's why sometimes it will be presented as like a panacea of improving everything. But a lot of times, if a guy is testosterone deficient, you will say sometimes just feel like I broke out of the shell that I was in. Come back, we follow up with them, getting kind of optimal testosterone levels, feel like they have better energy, drive, motivation to just find themselves doing things again around the house instead of just coming home and sinking into the chair. Improve libido, erectile quality, and then especially if you're doing the work with resistance training and in a calorie deficit, those results will be augmented. That you will notice more muscle mass. You will notice that you'll have better fat loss with your efforts and everything.
Right, and also we kind of talked about this isn't like they come in and say, hey, I need testosterone replacement. Oh, sure, let's do it. This is kind of a last. You kind of said you want to kind of be like a last resort, because if you are young and you start getting, these treatments, your body will stop producing testosterone naturally.
Sure, yeah,
So,
because this is not, once you're on testosterone replacement therapy, it doesn't fix anything underneath. It just replaces you to an optimal level. And so before we're making that jump into doing that, I want to evaluate a guy and make sure that he is kind of doing the pillars of optimal health to begin with. Not only will that provide the best testosterone level he can get naturally, we'll also prime him to be a better responder to optimal testosterone if we replace him. Those things that I'm looking for. Sleep is something that we all neglect. That seems the first thing to be neglect, but 7 to 9 hours of good quality restful sleep is about one of the most anabolic things that we all put off to the side. Good nutrition, try and make whole food choices, try and limit overtly super processed foods, try and get more whole food choices with, that from, local meat and that kind of stuff if you can. Homegrown, I really blanked on that, but
no, you're good, man.
Homegrown if you can, and so sleep, food choices, resistance training if you're not, and then control stress as best as possible as well.
It's pretty hard to do nowadays with everything going on. But it seems like, if you feel like you might have some sort of deficiency there where you come home and you're just exhausted, maybe try eating right, try working out a little bit before you jump the shark, I guess.
Right, and instead of just jumping right in and doing it, because you can do it, and sometimes it takes that to get motivated to start making those changes. Ideally I would like a guy to be trying to make changes 3 to 6 months prior to everything, but sometimes you just feel so down, feel so terrible, that sometimes I would still offer testosterone to even get that motivation to start making those changes. And then it's just a snowball of positive effects, because now you have the motivation, you feel better, so you move a little bit more. You start an exercise regimen, and so you sleep better because you're now exercising. You sleep better, you feel more rested from the sleep, more energy from the testosterone, you're working out harder, you're recovering better, and so it's just this positive snowball. It's not uncommon that I'll follow up with a guy 8 weeks, I feel a lot better. 3 months they feel better than they did at 8 weeks. 6 months they feel better at 3 months. It just continues that positive snowball. Kind of with like the weight loss. If they're meeting the med halfway, using it as a tool and everything, it'll only continue to positively impact their life and everything.
All right, well, good deal, man. I'm going to kind of turn it over to you. Is there anything I missed? Anything you want to get out there?
I don't think so. I think that's it. We're at 2021 West Beauregard, across from the blood bank. You can schedule an appointment at liveoaktestosterone.com. You can you can self-schedule there. It'll have all the availability, or you can call 325-777-0737 and we'll get you on the schedule. We try and get you in within a couple days, if not that day, and then we can get it going for you and see what's best. Whether you need a medication or not, we can still just try and discuss what would be best for you.
All right. Well, Mason Collins, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
All right. Yes, sir.
Nice
Absolutely. It's good meeting you too. All right. Back to you guys.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thanks for watching the Live Daily News Show, the only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley. Go like us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and other social media platforms, and download the San Angelo Live mobile app today to stay up to date on all the news from in and around the Concho Valley. Thanks again, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.